Well, hello everybody. Good morning, and thank you for joining the session. And thank you, Maribel, for joining the session as well. Today we're going to be talking about the case study of Balearia implementing Omnichannel and automation into their customer experience program. Today with us is Maribel. Maribel has been the project manager for this implementation, and she's also in charge of loyalty and customer experience at this company. Maribel, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, and thank you very much for joining the session.
Thank you, Redk. Well, my background is a bit mixed. I've studied marketing, advertisement, and PR, and then I work with marketing until I decided to move to international trade. I was working in a company that was doing a sort of import-export with other companies, with cargo ships, as MSC, Maersk was. We work with China, Pakistan, India, US, and Europe. And then I wanted to move, and I've got the opportunity to work in Balearia. So this was a challenge. It was kind of a challenge because it was changing. It was shipping company, but changing from just cargo to Ro-Ro cargo and passengers.
Yeah. How long have you been? How long have you been with the company?
Now it's gonna be almost 3 years, like two and a half, more than 2.5 years.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting times. I mean, you've seen a lot of change in the business through these years, right?
Yeah. It's been changing quite a lot.
Yeah. So just before we start, for people who don't know Redk, we are a CRM transformation agency or CRM transformation consultancy. We help companies to become digitally mature, to optimize their processes, but especially to become customer-centric. And we do this through a methodology, and we call this process CRM transformation. So Balearia is one of our customers, and we've been very, very excited to actually participate in this transformation process because it's been a journey of discovery and innovation. Right? There is a lot of focus on improving the way the company delivers its customer experience. So it's not just about technology, it's about the combination of everything that happens in the business, right? Just to know a little bit about Balearia, this is quite a large business, but I think what drives the business is the values behind the brand. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Sure. First of all, I wanted to say that I love the idea of having a large company located in not so a big city. So it's not a value itself, but it's kind of interesting. It's not only located in Madrid or Barcelona. So we have different locations. And for instance, the main offices are in Denia, which is a small town, and it really says a lot about the company. It gets a local. I would say the values are, first of all, connecting territories and all that this involves. The expansion of the culture and knowledge. And we would say sailing, it's been the eldest transport. And this moves culture in between countries. So we connect and mix culture so we can take care of it through our foundation. We are really concerned on that. So we've got Balearia Foundation, which it just takes care of art, language, music. So that's one of the main values of the company. Then I would say the eco-efficiency and the awareness of the environment. We've been changing our fleet, and we are using a natural liquid gas. So we are reducing our emissions, and we're really concerned on the environment and obviously on the sea. And finally, the third one, I would say, is the commitment with the internal and external clients, would say. So the workers, the team that we're in Balearia, and our clients. Therefore, we develop technology and tools so that both of them have facilities and we can get adapted to their needs. I would say these are the three main values of the company.
So connecting people, caring for the environment. These are actually things that are quite big drivers for decision making when it comes down to taking care of the internal and external clients, right? In an industry that is so old, is one of the oldest industries in our world, right? It's pretty difficult to make change happen. And I think this is one of the challenges of this type of companies that have a lot of very just old ways of working, you know, whether they are technology based or people based. So it's quite interesting to see the effort in making these changes, right? So can you tell us a little bit, what is it that makes this business so difficult? Because it's definitely challenging.
Yeah, I would say the challenges and variables to manage the business are managing incidents, the meteo, because the weather forecast, it's everything for us, that we have different business lines, and also making the cost of the ships profitable and getting adapted to and digitalized as the other sectors to meet the customer expectations, and especially I would say the B2C and B2B. It's a very complex business. It breaks down into different business lines, which are tourism, freight transport, and also the retail on board and catering on board. As I said before, we depend always on the weather, so which this has a big impact in the business and in the plans of our clients. This unreliability must be replaced with communication with the customers. So we constantly need to be telling them if there's an issue, if the boat has changed, if the port has changed. And this needs to be time effective, because it could happen 30 minutes before departure, for instance, or I don't know, or a week after, or there's something going on when you're traveling. So yeah, as well as I said before, we have a large capital invested on the ships. So this makes them a wealth for the company. And also a significant expense in repairs, in engine upgrades. As we said, we're changing to liquid natural gas. So this means changing the whole engine and changing, I don't know, it's technical stuff, but changing a lot of things at the boat. We have to make the daily departure of each ship profitable, since the ship is certainly going to leave every day. So this is one of the big challenges we have.
So I guess the logistics, making the assets, produce a return on investment, and the weather, right? They're very, very complex things to manage. That's quite interesting. When we look at Balearia as a brand, it was really interesting to see the campaign you had during the summer when travel opened, right? So we picked up this video from you. I'm just gonna play it. It takes about a minute. Okay. So that's quite interesting. I imagine you had to make a lot of changes in the way you operate the onboarding of the ships, take care of customers' health, take care of the employees' health, and a lot of it needs to be as contactless as possible, right? And I think that there was a lot of initiatives around the technology to be implemented to make sure that happened, right? Something that I found quite interesting was the driver behind a lot of these changes, you know, how to make sure you make a very seamless process, how you create a seamless process for all of the phases that the customer goes through when they use your services. And when we were doing the project, we came across this concept that you have internally of the customer effort score, which actually is a very good way to drive this initiative. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Sure. The customer effort score, it measures what you said, the effort that the client makes in each contact with us, in the purchase, boarding, looking for the cabin or the seat, eating on the ship, just everything. To make the concept easy, we could describe it as a pyramid. So in the basics of the pyramid, there's the simple thing, the trip. In our case, is to bring the passenger to the place where they want to go. In the middle, we'll say there's to make it easy for the client. And in the top of the pyramid, there's another step, which is to make a memorable emotion of this journey. So the client doesn't. It also there's another concept which that we look for, and it's that the client needs to do a little effort and does not have to suffer the problems that the company is facing.
Yeah.
So here simply, as you said, it's seamless. It has to flow with the best in the best possible way to make this experience memorable.
Yeah, this is quite interesting because a lot of the projects don't focus on how it impacts the customer. It just focuses on how the company can become efficient, when you should be achieving both in balance, right? So that's a very interesting thing to have, right? So when you say you want to make the process seamless, there's quite a few things to improve that you looked at when you were addressing the project. What were the areas of improvement that you were looking
at? The areas that we wanted to influence to improve the experience were the reservation process in every single channel. So we've got web, a box office, telephone. It becomes an improvement of the experience, and in addition, it becomes an improvement of profitability of business. So as you said, we grow both. Then I would say another one, it was the incident management. This management needs to be simplified internally and externally. The problems, for instance, as we said before, of changing a ship, it means different accommodations, different timings, ports and services. So the client has to be notified from our side and needs to feel compensated with upgrades, menus on board, whatever. So these back office procedures need to be understandable by the client and needs to be fast and efficient. This is a very big challenge, not just for our department, but for many departments in the company. And I would also say it would be digitalize the business to business part. So we have partners to whom we must give an agile and simple tool. We must give, agile and simple tools to make the reservations. And we must make this digital transformation at this point. I would say these are the improvement points contemplated now.
Yeah.
At this moment.
So it's interesting because a lot of it is things you cannot control. You know, you cannot control if the ship breaks. You cannot control if, you know, there's a storm or, you know, the ocean is not good. But you can control the communication with the customer, So you can anticipate situations, you can make it as smooth as possible. So improving that the overall experience is something that you have fairly good control over in that regard. Okay, so what we see very often when we are doing this type of projects is that there's usually a strategic purpose for projects, but it's very disconnected from the tactical execution. And I think the key of making this project successful is to make sure that the organization understands the strategic objectives of the business. You know, these values that you have of, you know, connecting or servicing customers, providing an excellent service to customers inside the internal customers, the employees, and outside the external customers. I think it's very important to find a way to translate these objectives into tactical executable you know, day-to-day activities, right? So when we were looking at the project and we started you know, trying to understand what it meant in terms of tactical execution, we understood that, you know, the ability to quickly manage last-minute incidents, how to incorporate automation to make sure that people, the human capital, was focused on more meaningful conversations with customers, and the tasks were done by the technology, right? Open the channels to conversations with customers so they can, you know, use any channel of choice for whatever was easier for each individual, you know, whether it's social media, self-service, telephone, email, web, or even obviously offline at the ticket counters through the reservation system, right? It also meant we actually needed to integrate the back office systems, the ticketing systems. Mm-hmm. So there was no, this seamless flow of information was not broken by the data, right? So that was a big element. And then giving the visibility to the management teams, the service managers, the operation managers, to understand what was happening. So all of it is quite a lot of tactical capabilities that needed to be implemented as soon as possible, right? Like always in business, right? So you chose Zendesk as a solution for this. Can you tell us a little bit why and how did you get to Zendesk and why did you choose this solution?
We did a big research and we knew what we wanted, that is important. We wanted a platform or tool that work by modules, so we could be able to work by stages and have a minimum viable product soon and then grow and expand the project. So we didn't want to make titanic efforts and make decisions about the whole project just at the beginning. It was basically working in an agile methodology, and Zendesk definitely was like that. As we say, it was very important that the project was scalable and then reach an omnichannel concept that we needed without major developments quickly and effectively. So we needed an intuitive platform to make the employee experience easy, because then you know when there's always a change, employees are a bit concerned. So we needed to have a high level of independence once we reached the project, and in order to know whether the change was good or not, we compared Zendesk to the platform that we had before, and we did it with our agents. So they tried both. Then we did kind of an interview, and obviously, needless to say, that the team supported the platform change. We like to go. All of this happened also in a really narrow period. So with all its health crisis, we kind of compare it with as a Chinese ideogram of crisis, which means we could translate it with crisis opportunity. So you always have a crisis, and you always have an opportunity to see the good side, the silver linings. So we mix the lack of finding Zendesk with the complicated period that we found it, and yeah, it was a fast. Redk team helped us loads. Both of us, we've done an incredibly effort to achieve it, and we've been always assisted and with a lot of patience and changes and advice. So yeah, we chose Zendesk because of that. And then when the time was going by, we were happy that the decision was the correct one.
Yeah. So I think actually to bring this down to practical purposes, right? There was a lot that was done in a very short period of time. So we were able to integrate all of the conversation channels into one single console. So the user only had to access one screen really to service every customer. But that screen actually compiled all of the information around all of the channels, whether it was the ticketing office, whether it was mail, voice, social media, or a self-service, right? All of it was coming into one unified solution. So there's a lot of pieces that we implemented. We implemented the self-service on the website. We implemented, that was implemented using a guide, the voice connectivity, the email to ticket function, the answer bot function, which gives customers an automated reply based on what it's learning, the integration with the back office through this solution called Sunshine Conversations to use the WhatsApp channel so customers can receive their onboarding, the boarding pass, right? So it's a lot. And even though the project still continues to evolve, a lot of this was implemented in less than 3 months, right?
Yep.
Which is actually quite an interesting time to do that, very short. So can you tell us a little bit how the impact of having the ticketing system integrated into the knowledge base and all of this?
It's also it was fantastic, and it also happened in a period of time where we have a massive amount of calls and emails. So these inquiries, we found out that they were very simple, but very listened concerns from the clients. So given the simplicity and repetition of answers, as you said, the knowledge base was it was something that we had, but with the auto response and with the bot, identifying the frequently asked questions from the customers, it was easy to create articles, consistent articles, so we could give an easy and consistent, the same answer to everyone. And also they were quite easy to find because Zendesk gives you the opportunity to put tags on these articles and this knowledge base. So if you type words, they come out as if it was a search engine.
Yeah. So it's a way to scale up operations, remove the bottleneck, free up the time of the agents, but it's also available outside office hours, which is a big thing.
24/7. Yep.
Yeah, which is a great thing to have, right? So there's two things that were implemented: the self-service knowledge base and the answer bot. But all of these actually eventually just, if a customer cannot find resolution, then a customer can open a ticket, right?
Yeah, that's it. The thing is that as we freed our agents of simple questions, we get them to more complicated procedures, and this escalates from I have a doubt, I don't know if my boat has a coffee restaurant, so I would type it. If the question comes out, that's it, ticket is solved. Otherwise, if it's a more complicated procedure or question, this will come up to an agent, to a human, and then they will solve my query. And this is in office time, but the basic would be 24/7, as you said before.
Yeah, and a customer can still open a ticket outside office hours, and he'll be responded later, right? Yeah. Something else that was put to work was the integration with the voice calls, right? The voice channel.
Yeah, we had at the same time that we were checking Zendesk, we had this solution which is called Genesis View Cloud. So it was just really easy to integrate the voice channel, and as you can see in the screen, it's just like a Skype pop-up, I would say. So the agent has everything on the ticket screen, and it also has a conversation Pure Cloud pop-up. So every time they call, a ticket gets open. You can check everything of this passenger. If you already have the number, it will pop up the passenger profile, and then you can see if they've called before, if they opened the ticket, if they've been affected by, I don't know, weather cancellation or whatever. So it was really easy to integrate, and definitely fantastic for the agent.
Yeah. So I guess it's not just the fact that people can call in, it's also that when the call comes in, the information about the customer appears, so you can provide much faster, more effective service, right? That's a massive advantage. Also, you're now using social media to service customers, right? Also to reception requests and answers. How is this working?
We found out that clients are using more and more social network to connect with companies, and we've got many private messages. So in order to be, as we said, consistent, there are the public messages which our community manager is dealing with, and then once there's a question or problem, we direct them to private messages, and this is also integrated. Facebook and Twitter messages are integrated with Zendesk. It works the same style. Even if they call, if they send a social media message, it would open a ticket. If you have the number of the client, the email of the client, you will have the record. If this client contacted through social media and before contacted by phone, you will see that they've contacted X times.
Yeah. So it's Sorry. So it's one customer. All the interactions, irrelevant of the channel, are in what customer's record, and for the agent is one single view of everything, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There's something else you did with WhatsApp.
Yeah, also we get closer to the client. We get closer by phone calls, then we get a bit closer by social networks, and now the closest you can get is WhatsApp, is that you use with your family, with your friends. So you become just closer to the client. This was really useful because we actually can send all the information through WhatsApp once they check the opt-in. They go paperless, which is quite important nowadays. And yeah, the challenge was to implement both the bot in WhatsApp and delivering the boarding passes. So we wanted to have the same that we have on the website, but on WhatsApp. So once you receive the boarding pass, if you have any query, or before, if you've done the opt-in before, you can always ask, and through the tags, we might answer you without having to open a ticket or to call or to come to our place.
So what we find really interesting about integrating WhatsApp for Business is that it's not only about sending a text message to a customer. You can do full transactions. You can buy tickets, create reservations, cancel reservations, modify a purchase, purchase an item. So it's very, very powerful. It's not just about text conversations, but it is also immediately available in the customer's phone, right? In the channel that is now most widely used in people's interactions, right? So it gets you really close to them as a brand, right? And also, you know, one of the things that I think has made quite a big difference is the way you report on the information, right?
Yeah, everything gets recorded, and therefore, yeah, after you can just go to your Explore, I think it's called, service, and you've got all the metrics and all the figures, which makes it really easy once you want to compare, I don't know, between months, in between years, once we keep on working with Zendesk. And once you have all this information, you can plan things in advance. And you can see, I don't know, how agents are working, how all the tags and all the knowledge base is working, or if you need to improve it, to change it. So it just has everything, and also you can customize it. So it's really, really convenient.
Yeah. So what is the impact of actually having the information?
It's power. It's knowledge. You can spend less and give a better service.
Yeah. How did what's the difference with before?
Imagine
loads of Excel sheets, loads of reports.
That's it. Imagine a non-ending Excel sheet that you have to treat. We've used Power BI, we've used different tools, but you need to take it out from Zendesk. In this case, you have it all in. You're not missing, I don't know, an Excel space that you haven't ticked, and this won't show up. So everything is in there, and it's also really attractive. I mean, it's easy to read.
Yeah. So a lot of this is already implemented, right? And is up and running. It was ready for the beginning of the summer. So what was the time frame to deliver all of it?
I would say it was not more like 3 months. It's been some stuff's been done in 1 day. For instance, like we want to put the voice platform. It was just a click for you, and some others it took some weeks. But it's been during the first weeks of the lockdown. It was just amazingly fast. I know clients won't believe it, but it was amazingly fast.
Yeah. So I think in a moment this year when things just change immediately from one month to the next, the need for speed was great, right? And I think being able to implement all of this and then have this type of information dashboard available is a massive change for the way the business operates, right? What's the impact on the customer experience?
I think at the beginning we were a bit worried, but it's been fantastic because clients expect you having all the information. They are a bit independent in the way that they contact, and with the bot, sometimes they don't need to wait, I don't know, 30 minutes, whatever, on the phone. So yeah, the customer experience has been affected in a really positive way. If you, for instance, if we are traveling together and you've called by your side and I've called by my side, or just WhatsApp or text, we've received exactly the same answer. So customers are not confused. Everything has been positive.
Yeah, it's consistently flowing, right? It's consistent throughout the journey, right? Some of the lessons that you've learned?
I would say that the most important has been that, the most important lesson we've learned is that it's really important to be ambitious, but it's more important to be successful in partial milestones to end up setting a large project. And also that it's really, really important so that the spirit of the team does not fall. and give the client teasers to end up offering a fabulous and comprehensive and consistent experience. This project has been is innovative and flexible, and working in an agile method has been also something that we've learned that it just works for us. And also that having the commitment of the team that is going to use the tool is the key. The team has to see the project as their own, every single one participating on it, and success will be achieved with people. Otherwise, that won't be possible.
Yeah, a lot of these big projects, people is probably the key element of making them happen, right? So it's not only whether people have the knowledge to do things, it's whether they can work together, they have the methodology. There is this sense of, you know, teamwork to achieve great things, right? It's people who achieve great projects, right? In terms of methodology and the way of working, how did you find working with our team?
It was just easy. We were guides. It was a really totally honest way of giving advice, and we shared ideas with them. They just tell us everything as it was. Like, I don't know, we think we needed something, and even if it's the simple way to do it, they told us, no, it's better to do it that way. We discussed. It was you were part of the team actually, and you can. It's fun when you speak with your team. They include, they say we as Balearia and Redk. So it's something that you just, it's just words, but it is the way of working. It converts on the way of working.
It's together, right? We're doing this together.
Yeah. It was, it was. We were a team, so it was really easy, really easy.
So, you know, you implemented Zendesk, and it's an amazing technology, but you're using a relatively small part of Zendesk still, right? You still have a lot of new things to come. What things are you working on that are quite exciting?
We keep working on the WhatsApp because it's not 100% extended. Yeah, and now we are checking loyalty to put loyalty platforms into Zendesk, and yeah, we are exploring this part of club and loyalty. Once that we've got, as we said, the base of the pyramid and the middle, now we need excellence with our customers. The most because on the club there are like the most recurrent customers, and now we look for the excellence for them.
That sounds good. So there is still quite a lot of technology that can help you innovate these processes. Yeah, that's pretty good to hear as well. So thank you very much for the information. We were quite excited. You know, I was talking to the team that implemented the project, and they had the same sense of teamwork. They really felt like they connected really well with the brand. They understood what you wanted to achieve, and they always focused on delivering value. You know, and it's been really interesting to participate in this project. It's transformational in the way the business is moving forward, right? And especially in these times, innovation and value is a massive differentiator for the business, right? So we're very happy to have participated. Thank you very much, Maribel, for your contribution.
Thank you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. See you later, and I guess thank you to everybody watching. All right, bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.